Good morning. It is Saturday, the 23rd of February, 2019. I haven't been here for a while. I'm not doing great this winter, which is kind of expected. But I'm not doing as bad as, say, I was a year ago, so I need to keep that in mind. We had a little incident this morning. My nephew's dad, he kind of lost his temper, and it was very tense. And I got to decide what I'm going to do next time that happens, if it does. Anyway, I need to feel a little bit better, and right after breakfast I need to go out and do a days of work, so I thought I'd come back and say hi and do what it is that I like to do, which is just explain something or share some little piece of knowledge that I learned. And today, this is kind of interesting. I'm not doing a This Day in History, but I was just listening to a podcast called Invention. Now, this is a new podcast. It's from the exact same two hosts of the Stuff to Blow Your Mind podcast. So it's part of the Stuff You Should Know, I think is the parent company. And this was from their recent episode of Invention. It's called The Wheel Part 2. They did 2 hours on the wheel, and they said something that just kind of caught my mind. It was a complete sidetrack, but they started talking about the word juggernaut. Now, I did a little bit of looking into this, and there does seem to be a different modern British meaning to juggernaut, slightly different than the modern American meaning of juggernaut. We would never really call a lorry or a truck a juggernaut, not commonly, and apparently that's one of the more common uses in the UK. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we, at least here in the States, we think of a juggernaut as a large, unstoppable force or entity. A company could be a juggernaut. An army, I suppose, could be a juggernaut. Anyway, I've always felt that word probably had Greek origin. It's got that naut, the N-A-U-T in it, but it turns out that's not the case at all. Juggernaut as a word actually came into the English language in around the 17th century. Some of you may remember or know that that's when British colonialism was kind of getting started over in India. And indeed, that's where this word comes from. Juggernaut comes from a few different, looks like very, very closely related words in the languages of, you know what, I'm about to start trying to pronounce a few things in a language that I have no knowledge of, and I'm not the best phonetic spelling reader, so please do understand if I get these wrong. But anyway, the word, or a variation of the word, appears in Hindustani, Oriya, Urdu, and Sanskrit languages. And it comes from Jaggernatha, a few variations on that. I'm not sure if the TH is pronounced as it is in English, but Juggernaut or Jaggernatha. And this was apparently the title of the Hindu god Vishnu's avatar, Krishna. I do not pretend to understand the difference between a deity and an avatar. Please take this with a big grain of salt. My minimum understanding is that an avatar is an earthly manifestation of a Hindu god or deity. At any rate, it's some kind of version of that god. So, a Juggernaut or Jaggernatha is the title of Krishna, who is an avatar of Vishnu. Okay, well, what's that got to do with our current understanding of juggernaut? Well, where we get this word from is from, I guess we'll call it a vehicle. It looks like an annual parade, a chariot parade. In the original language, I guess it's Rath Yatra, and which is the chariot parade at a place called Puri Orissa, or Orissa, something like that. Anyway, this vehicle, if you want to call it that, basically was a huge wheeled platform, and I saw a image of it. But this platform had 4 wheels, looked rectangular. The wheels looked like they were about the size of a person. So fairly large platform, much like a parade float. On top of this platform was built what I would describe as kind of a gazebo. I'm sure it was a temple or a shrine, but there were definitely columns with, in a roughly, couldn't quite tell if it was circular or octagonal, but there were columns holding up a very sloped canonical ceiling. So much like you would see a gazebo in backyards today. So this shrine or temple or rolling parade platform, the main thing on it is that it included an idol of Krishna. Now, this platform, to be moved during this parade, did require hundreds of devotees, as it says. I don't know who qualifies or who was forced or who volunteered to do the pulling, but it required hundreds of presumably men, but anyway, people. And there were some reports, I haven't been able to confirm this, that early British observers thought that people had actually sacrificed themselves by standing in front of the wheels, and since it was unstoppable, it had so much momentum, even if it's not moving terribly fast, it is heavy, that it would crush them. Apparently these reports were false, but you do get this image of a very giant, heavy, moving object that you really would have a hard time stopping. And it's that sense that gives us the modern term juggernaut. So presumably the British saw this happening, saw the big platform, were very impressed. They knew that the word Jagannath or Jagannatha was associated with it, and they took that word and a metaphorical meaning of the device that they saw. They did, I can't exactly say anglicized it, but they put a Greek ending on it, which was very much used in the English language. The N-A-U-T, also used in the word astronaut or argonaut. It basically means a sailor. And so that's it. That's where we get juggernaut. I thought it was cool. And that's, really all I got. I'm running out of steam here. So, hey, we're hitting 9 minutes. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will try to be back to talk to me sooner than it has been. Thank you.